All right. Let's see. Let's put this over here so I can read the comments. Let's do this so you can see. Let's grab a better sheet out of here. Hi everyone. Just getting started. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for the kind comment, Mike. All right. Trying to get everything ready. All right. All right, so I've had some interesting news for the past couple days, a couple weeks actually. I've had a little new member join our family, so I've got a little boy that was born August 28th, so I've been really busy and preoccupied with that little guy. But I wanted to do a quick live stream. I didn't advertise this. I didn't publish it anywhere. I just decided to do it on the fly because I just have a little bit of time to do so, and I just, wanted to kind of give back because I know there's people that are watching and want to see the next video that's coming out and haven't done anything lately. So let's see, how could I flip this so that you can, so it's not upside down? 1 second. Let's see here, edit. So if you're just joining me, hello, hi. Hope everyone's having a good day, good Sunday afternoon. And then let's do that. There you go. So now it should be flipped in the right direction so that you can see it. It's upside down to me, but it's right side up to you. So, no, never mind. Forget what I just said. All right, so we've got 2 viewers. I guess it's just myself and Mike. So I'm going to take one of the pages out of the sketchbook. So this is my sketchbook. If anyone's interested, it's on my blog. It's on my website, just ascariart.com I think you just go to ascari.art.com and you'll see it on the bottom. And yeah, it's there. You can purchase it and I can ship it out to you. I created one because I couldn't find one. That was like a book that I can pull sheets out or put sheets back in. So that's an idea that I had. Okay, so I'm going to wait a little bit while I set up. I need to fill up my alcohol container just to kind of give you all an example of what I use, the supplies that I use. So I'm using isopropyl alcohol here. You can see 99.5%. It's pretty strong stuff. Since this is a very small sheet, I'm going to be wearing my respirator. Usually I wear a respirator for larger pieces, like the big canvas pieces, but right now I have the windows open and it is circulating some air out, so it should be okay. But just to be safe, I think usually you should always wear a mask, respirator like this one. I'll show you. This is the typical one that I use. It's a full face respirator, covers your eyes specifically from, just the fumes. The fumes can be pretty strong, dry out your eyes. So what I typically like to do is I fill up these little containers with alcohol so that I have some ready. And these containers typically have this little fine point needle tip. So here's one, and I gotta find the next one. Let's see here. You know, preparation is everything, so sometimes it takes me a little longer to get ready. And I start the video sometimes a little earlier so that if you have any questions, I'm here. I can answer them while I'm setting up. And we're going to do just a quick demo. It's not going to be anything crazy because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I've got a little guy that was born on the 28th, so I just need to, I've got my other kids, like part of Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and stuff, so we got to go do that. But I can't lose sight of doing some art to kind of help me with tension and anxiety and depression, which is always helps. Now I'm not depressed, but I do have anxiety, and this helps that anxiety. All right, let's get. So I don't know, Mike, are you on there? If you're on there, what kind of colors do you want to see? Put it in the chat, and I'll take a look. I've got quite a few colors. If you go to ascariart.com/blog, I've got a blog post that has all of my swatches, and you can actually download those swatches for free. And so if you want to take a look at the swatch list, Mike, you can, if you're still on the feed, you can suggest some colors, and I can try to make something nice out of it. So I'll wait for the response. Or anyone who love autumn colors. Hey, Liz. Okay, let's see. Autumn. We can do some. Okay, let's see. I've got some browns here. Terracotta is a pretty autumn color. Got sienna, butterscotch. I'm gonna put these up right now. You know, in autumn, they're not all. Some sunshine yellow, some willow, because not everything is practically yellow. I've got some orange. So let's put these up. All right, so here's some of the colors. All right, weather changing. Yeah, I like it. So there's some sunshine yellow, some willow. Here's some butterscotch, sienna, and some terracotta. Now, what I like to do, so I've got swatches already made of these colors. So there's like sunshine. We got a huge, there's terracotta. So that's terracotta. I don't know if you can see. My screen is, if it's too light, I can dim it down a little bit. Let's see here. Let's go f3.2. That might be a little better. Okay, so there's that. I think this is, no, that's moss. So you see all the swatches that I've made over the years. There's some gold. I don't know, maybe we could throw some of that in there. Love that combination. Okay. So you like the combination of the orange and the terracotta? Okay. Let's see. Teakwood. Let's see any other combinations here. Butterscotch and reddish. Okay. Gold for sure. All right, we'll throw in some gold. So okay, so we'll do butterscotch. So that's, I like that. I like that option because it has a little bit of the yellow in it. Looking for, I guess I don't have it here. I should. No worries. We'll leave this aside for now. Okay, so gold for sure. Let's get the gold out. There it is. I've got meadow too, which is a green. But autumn, I mean, there's some green there. So let's do gold. Okay, I do like terracotta, so let's do, I think someone said butterscotch and terracotta, so those two, gold for sure. So for my gold, I typically use Pinata Brass. That's basically the best gold you could, I mean, it's the closest to gold that I've ever been able to find. Now, I'm going to do something else too. I'm going to let's make our own metallic. I'm going to do a blue metallic. I've got all sorts of metallic powder pigments, and I can show you. So here's some blue. This is called cotton candy blue, which is like really crazy, crazy blue. I don't know if you can see that. Let's do this. Can you see that blue? It's really offset blue. Yeah, I think we're gonna do abstract. Yeah, because I don't really, I don't have a lot of time, and it's gonna take me like hours to do like a meadow with trees hanging down and with leaves falling, and I think for me personally, abstract helps me with the release of that anxiety and depression, and just to get something out. And that's sometimes it's faster for me to do an abstract to just get that feeling of wanting to create something out. Again, it's the mindset, right? You have to be in the right mindset. And lately I've been so busy with just family and everything that's going on right now in my life. It's like I just need that little amount of creativity to just let out that creativity. And abstract sometimes, and especially with alcohol inks, it's the fastest way to release that out, get that out, get that urge of creativity out. Let's do any other sunset. Do you guys want to do sunshine yellow maybe for some sun? Or do you want to go butterscotch and reddish, huh? Sienna's got some red, or we can drop in some red. Let's see. I've got ember, which is a very bright orange. It's a red orange. It's all right. So let's just pick. I think you guys have. Have you tried Brusho? What is Brusho? I haven't. Explain, please. I'm interested to know what that is. Is that a color, or is that a particular brand, or is that a? Okay, so butterscotch. We're gonna use that. I'm gonna put sunset orange over there. Sunshine yellow. Maybe we'll bring in some yellow. Sienna. Maybe we'll put in some ember. I do like the terracotta. Let's do the terracotta instead of the. Well, okay. So, I think we got the colors. Oh, it's a powder. Okay. No, I haven't. I'm gonna try that. I would love to try some. Okay, so the other thing I need to do is I'm gonna mix some blending solution. If I can find my blending solution. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's hiding. So we're gonna mix our own metallic, and I'm gonna try this because it's been a while since I've mixed my own metallic. I typically mix my own metallic. I used to do that for resin, but I'm gonna try this with alcohol ink. So what I typically like to do is I'm going to basically drop a couple drops of blending solution, not a couple drops, quite a bit of blending solution, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of alcohol in there. Okay. And then we're going to grab this blue powder metallic that I have. It's pretty, you can get a kit of this stuff. I don't like this blue metallic. Let me get a different one. Something a little bit more. I do like, I am going to add a little bit of blue just to hint at that, the balance. It's going to be a little bit, not too much. Maybe that's too bright. I want to do a darker, like almost, there we go. So, oops. So here's the blue powder that I've got. Let me do this. Oh, I just messed up that sheet. Well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. And I like to just grab a little bit here with a popsicle stick and drop it in here. And then we'll just kind of mix it up. If you can kind of see that. And it's really pretty. I don't know if you could really see that on the camera or not. Let's see if I can get it just right. Okay, so yeah, the difference between blending solution and alcohol. So blending solution, I believe, has ethanol in it. Ethanol and glycol ethers. This is blending solution. And this is what they typically use, I believe, in the piñata brass. I believe that's how they mix That's how they make their metallics. I'm sure they have probably more ethanol in it than I have in this, but this just gives you an idea of the blending solution helps the metallics move. When you use alcohol, the solutions, the viscosity of the solution is a lot less than the blending solution because of the ethanol and that, I can't even pronounce it, glycol ethers and isopropanol. So it's got isopropanol, ethanol, and glycol ethers, or ethers, I don't know. So that thickens the viscosity of it, and I think it helps with the metallic from not sinking to the bottom. Because if I mix just alcohol and the powder, here I'll show you, what it'll do is it'll sit at the bottom of the alcohol, just like water. I mean, it's the powder's more dense than, where's my little cup? I could show you the difference. So here we'll just drop a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of the blue, and you can see it'll sit at the bottom of the alcohol. It just will not move. And then when you pour it, the alcohol, it's just going to go to the bottom. It's going to touch the surface of the, so if I let it sit for a little while, it'll just sink to the bottom. As opposed to this, it's still, part of it is at the bottom, but there's a lot on the top as well. I'm sure they mix, you can mix more pigment with it to help it even more so. Let's add a little bit more just to see what happens. This is an experiment. Again, it's all practice mindset, you know. Hi, Resin Art. Nadia from Switzerland. Hi, Switzerland. It's a long ways. I bet it's late over there. Maybe afternoon or evening. Okay, so just to reiterate, I just mixed a little bit of my, I did one example. You could see kind of where the pigment is sinking below when you just do alcohol itself, and it's not as, it's too loose, and as opposed to this one where it's kind of on the surface in the middle. So yeah, we could try both. I'll pour that down. So let's get started. I know, let me put some gloves on. Safety first. I told everyone that I was going to do the respirator. I do have a window open. You're not going to hear me as clearly if I do the respirator, and I do have a window open, and I'm not doing a large canvas. Typically when I do a large canvas is when I wear the respirator, but when I'm doing small stuff like this, I like to do it outside or do it in a studio with the open windows. And I'm also wearing some safety glasses because I don't want the fumes to burn my eyes, because they will burn your eyes or dry out your eyes. So the respirator that I do use is a full face respirator, and I'm going to do a video on this because in my safety video for alcohol ink, I typically tell people to use just the half face respirator, and then I realized that, there we go, I realized that the half face respirator, it was still affecting my eyes, and I was wearing different kinds of safety glasses, and there's still, you know, the amount of alcohol that I use for the large canvases is just, it's just a lot, and it stinks up the room for hours on end. So that's why I wear the respirator, because the oxygen levels get pretty messed up. It's pretty bad. All right, so I paused a little bit because I'm reading some of the comments, so thank you for the comments. I do interact with comments right now, even on my videos, so feel free to comment as I do this work. I may be a little focused and may not see your comment immediately, but I'm going to move it here so I can see it better. Okay, there we go. All right, so I did get a little blue pigment on there, which is fine. Any suggestions on what the primary color should be? So I know the colors that we chose were butterscotch, sienna, I'm going to put them down like this, terracotta, which we've got a lot of browns here, so maybe we'll take one of these out. I'll leave the sienna out, and I'm going to leave the terracotta, and then we're going to bring in a little bit of ember, which is a very bright orange color, and sunshine. So which color do you all want to be the major color, the primary color, the one that it's the most of? I'll wait. Drink my coffee while I wait. Thank you so much. I will have fun. Any suggestions on primary color? Okay, all right, terracotta for the prime. All right, let's get started with that. And then we'll play with the other three as we go. So I'm looking at this, I'm gonna try to, ember for the prime. That's gonna be a toss-up. So let's since Mike answered first, let's do terracotta first, and then we'll throw in ember to help accentuate the terracotta. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour some alcohol in here. And again, I'm going in this with a practice mindset because this is practice. So for me, let's just do that. And then I'm going a little crazy with the alcohol. Where is my, oh, here it is. And what I like to put, I'm going to use a brush as well because I like using brushes to kind of move this stuff around. I'm not using a blow dryer right now. I'm just using this little Giotto lens cleaner. And what I'm going to do, there we go. Hopefully you can see that still. So I'm just letting it spread, moving it around. You notice I put the alcohol down first. So these yupo paper, my sketchbook uses yupo paper, and yupo paper pretty much, if you put the alcohol down first, if you put the pigment down first before you put the alcohol, it sometimes stains depending on the color. So that's typical with a lot of blues, and there's the ember, and a lot of the high pigment colors that we've got. So yeah, it leaves a stain, you're right. Sometimes, it depends. Now you can mask the stain by adding other colors or letting it sit a little while longer, and then let the alcohol sit a little while longer and then come back. That's the only disadvantage. That's why usually for practice, like I have these sketchbooks now, but for practice that you could purchase actually from my website if you're interested. But for practice, I typically, I used to use the plastic poster board that if you're in the States, you can buy, and plastic poster board will not stain. But the only issue with plastic poster board is just practice. You can't use it. I mean, you can frame it. Don't get me wrong. You can frame it, but the only issue is that it will fade because it's plastic and nothing adheres. Even if you seal it, it's still not gonna hold up over time. It's not archival, So as you can see here, it's just kind of moving it around, adding alcohol to create the separation. It helps push some of it out, and then what you do is you push it back in, just kind of moving around. Again, you have to have that mindset of practice, 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 and this is what I keep reminding myself. So I'm telling you, but I'm also reminding myself that we're not making a masterpiece here. We're going to learn something new just about these colors, how they work, because each color is different in how it interacts with the alcohol and how it moves. So let's add the butterscotch now. So I'm going to start adding some of that butterscotch here, and let's add a couple drops there. And right now we're just kind of creating the form. I don't know what that form is going to be as I'm thinking through it and working through it. This may be an ugly painting. I don't know. We'll see. I have no expectations. I'm hoping it comes out okay because everyone's watching, but no pressure, Kayvon. So I do have a little bit of moisture in the air, and that's why you're seeing some of that interesting, these ragged edges, which is quite all right. Now, since I'm using paper, you can also kind of move the paper around by lifting it and just kind of moving it around where you want it. Now, the drying is taking quite some time, so I'm going to bring in the blow dryer. I've been playing with this little blow dryer that I got. It's called a Baby Bliss. Actually, one of my subscribers mentioned it to me. She was a hairstylist for quite some time, and she made a recommendation of possibly using one of these. And here, I'll show you what it is. It's a really small blow dryer, handheld travel blow dryer. The only issue is that there's a low and a high, and both settings are hot. So, but for this little painting, I think a small blow dryer that's hot will help, because you can always pull back and you know, not have the heat curl up the paper as much. I just want it to dry up a little bit, and we're going to add another line of alcohol here. And all I'm doing is just moving it around, just moving it back and forth, pushing it out. I haven't added my gold or butter. I added a little bit of butterscotch, but nothing big yet. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of sunshine. And where is my... This terracotta is pretty... We're adding some sienna. I'm gonna add a little bit of dark brown to it. Again, don't be afraid. You see how I'm just pouring the alcohol, moving around. That's the whole idea. Some people say, well, this isn't really art. You know, what are you doing? Like, you're just moving alcohol around and making it look pretty. I mean, look, art is what you make of it. Art has a lot to do with your intent as you're painting. I've seen a lot more interesting things that have been considered art. At least this has a beauty to it that speaks to people. It speaks to me because it helps me in some way when it comes to my anxiety or any kind of, like, you know, just getting the creative expression out. Okay, let's see here. I do like the sunshine a lot in this top area, so we're going to add a little bit more. And we're going to let this dry a little bit. I'm going to bring in, you see how I'm doing the little wispy effects all around? Because all I'm doing is moving the alcohol around. Oops. So we're going to push the alcohol out like that. I'm going to push it out so that the color kind of moves out, allows it to kind of fade down a little. I do like this line right here. You see how it's kind of, so I'm going to leave it there and let it stain a bit. So I'm going around. You see how I'm just playing with this line and making sure that it stays in its spot. I'm not worried about anything else that's happening here, okay? So my focus is just this area here and making sure that that line stays. And if I want it to be a little harsher, I can just bring in the blow dryer around. You see how I'm still playing with this line. You see it's still there. Not worried about that area. So see that line right there? See how that was produced? So now we're going to come this side. I'm going to try to get another line on this side. And I'm just pulling the blow dryer back and forth, up and down, and also left to right, top to bottom. So you want to make sure up and down, meaning this way, like going up and down from the Z space, I guess. So there's that other line right here that leads it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push this out like that by pouring the alcohol on top of the color and then just kind of letting the color it burst out of that round area that was being produced. Now with this yupo paper sketchbook that I have, you can seal this paper and then frame it if you want. So as you can see, there's a lot of orange here, right? So there's a lot of brown and orange. I don't know if you can tell. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start adding some brown over here, some sienna, and we're going to push it in. And let's see if it likes to move. I'm not sure about this color and the pigment viscosity of it and whether or not it's going to allow me to really play with it, but we'll see. Okay, so I do like this line right here, as you can see, so I'm going to try to play with that and keep it there and spread this line out a little. Just moving it around. And I haven't used the blue yet. I haven't used the gold yet, so I'm kind of excited about that. So we're gonna try to do some of this blue. This blue may not work at all, but again, practice, practice, practice. So let me see if I have a little dropper. I used to have a little dropper. I don't know if these droppers work anymore because the alcohol ink clogs it up, and then let's see if this will pull. No, it's not. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to pour it on. So we're going to pour some of that blue right here. Let's mix it. This is the one that has the blending solution, and you can see this one is the one that doesn't. And you can see how the pigment is literally sitting underneath it. I don't know if you can tell. It's just alcohol on top. But this one, like the alcohol is literally, the blending solution and pigment is with it. So let's pour some of that down. See what we can do with it. And I'm not going crazy with the blue because this is autumn, but you know, sometimes autumn you have some blue skies. And let's see how it reacts with some of the other colors that are in there. I'm kind of curious now if it'll take some of that brown and play with it and make it violet, which, yep, it is. Yeah, I'm glad. So it is taking, you see how it's taking the sienna and completely changing it to turn into this purple, which is, I expected some of that. Let's pour some of it in here now, on this side. See what happens, kind of curious. If I don't like some of this, I can just wash it away. See how I can just, like, move the ink out, move the pigment out. Just like storm clouds. Like, you know, I wasn't expecting anything landscape, but you can kind of start seeing. I'll show you once it dries. I can show you kind of like what the pigment looks like. So these are like very stormy. Push some of that out. Okay, I do like, you know, try to bring in some of that. I'm going to do a little bit of sunshine over here because now I'm seeing some stuff that I like. So what that does is it's just going to pull, it's going to give me a little bit of light here. You see how I'm playing with this line. You see this line right here? Yeah. You see it? I'm going to try to push it off the deal, off the page. And if I don't like the line, I can just make more lines. But I'll show you how to make more lines with brushes because I do like the brush aspects a lot more. So let's play with this area now. I think I need to start playing with this area and start giving it some direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line of alcohol to kind of split it up. That line may have been too straight down, but it's okay. Thank you, honey, for letting me actually do a painting. Honey as in my wife, because she's taking care of the kids right now while I'm having some fun. So thanks for that, Mary. So let's move this around a little. So, okay, so I do want to see a little bit more white space, so I'm going to start pushing some of this back and see if it actually will prevent, if it's going to stain or not. Let's see. I don't think it will because it's orange. So I'm kind of, it does have a little bit of yellow stain, but it's okay because it adds to it. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing this back into the center and into the area. Yeah, it does look like a marbling effect. So again, I'm just moving it around. That's all I'm doing. I'm moving it around, back and forth, top to bottom, up and down, you know, kind of controlling it and seeing where I like some of the lines or where I don't. It's a lot about composition and trying to like figure it all out. So let's bring in, lighten this area up. Now, now you can see, if you're working with this yupo paper, what I would recommend is taping it down, or leaving it in the sketchbook and painting with it. If you have one of my sketchbooks, you could do that. But if you're gonna do you know, yupo paper just for practice, what I would do is I would recommend taping it down. I didn't tape it down because the blow dryer is going to move it. All right, so now we got to add that gold. I'm going to mix it up. All right, I don't have my dropper's not working, so I got to get some more droppers. But we're just going to do a couple of drops here. There we go. And add some alcohol to it to help it move. Not worried about it messing up or doing anything crazy, but I want to create, you know, some of these lines that you're seeing. You see how they're doing some fine edges, but I'm keeping them at bay, basically. Where I want the lines, and you can go ahead and use a brush, and that's what I'll do in a minute. I'll start moving this out a little more. You can use a brush to create the lines, or you can't be afraid of messing it up though, because it is practice. You got to think about it that way. Again, I mean, I urge this every time. Any kind of art that you're doing, even if it's art for a client, I mean, you gotta have that mindset, or you're not going to be able to, you're going to get frustrated with it because it's not coming out the way you wanted, and that's just not enjoyable at that point. You know, you're not creating stuff that you really enjoy. And you see leaves, huh? Awesome. If you see leaves, I see some. I'm just, you know, trying to avoid not seeing anything, but I do see some. Okay, let's do that. Let's see. Because then I start trying to draw the leaves in, knowing myself in that regard. Okay, I don't want to mess that area up, so let's push. Okay. So let's start using the brush. Where is my brush? I just had one. Here. I have all of these supplies on my Amazon. I have an Amazon link. I'll post. All my other videos have a link to my Amazon store where I basically give you a list of all the supplies I use. So feel free to check it out. And I get a small percentage. I think it's like 1% or whatever. You don't pay for it because the price is the price, but Amazon pays me a small percentage. It's an affiliate because I'm suggesting certain products that people are buying, but I use these products, so it's not like I'm just suggesting random stuff. Do you have a link? Yeah, it's if you go to any of my other videos, it's at the bottom of my video, and it basically just is a link to the store, and it's called like Amazon link or Amazon affiliate or something like that. And all the stuff I use is typically there, even to the blow dryer, like the aspect of the blow dryer and what blow dryers I use. If I haven't added, sometimes they sell out of stuff, so I have to find another link of the same brand. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just mixing. I've got a little cup here that I've mixed alcohol in, and I'm basically kind of lifting the ink and moving it with this little Giotto. I don't know if you can kind of see. I'm kind of helping these lines, making new ones. And I've got a flat tip brush right now, so I'm accentuating some of these lines as I'm painting this, thinking about it as I'm thinking about composition. And the pigment is kind of not, I'm sorry, not the pigment, the metallic is not really allowing me to move it because it's clumping up, I don't know, clumping up. But it's okay. So we've got like some stuff happening here. So I'm just looking at some of the lines that already exist and either extending them or adding more to it. And sometimes you can, so coming over here, you have a little bit more control. So I do like these blue metallic lines, but I want to smooth them out a little bit because they look like humidity touched them, from a alcohol ink perspective, person who does alcohol ink, I can tell that it's the layers are because of humidity, the way that it's kind of the edges. I do like the gray that's happening here with the hints of the blue. It's really nice. I'll share the link with you, Liz, in a minute, or if you go to any of my other videos, you can see it for the store stuff, the Amazon stuff. All right, so I like that. Let's see. Let's play with this area a little bit because it's too. I need to add a little bit more alcohol. So you can add alcohol and then use the brush to move the alcohol where you like it. I hope you can still kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm just reconnecting some of these lines and making new pathways. And some people see this and they're like, oh, this is really easy. I mean, you're just moving this stuff around. I urge you to try it because it is easy if you have practice. And some people are just naturals at it. I mean, some people don't even need practice. They just go in and do it. But you still need some level of practice because practice beats talent. I'm telling you this. Practice beats talent. Meaning a person who's practicing a lot at a medium and someone who's just naturally just talented at it. Talented people tend to be lazy. And this is a common thing. Because they think they're talented and they've got it and they're lazy, they don't practice as much. Not all, but some, I'm not going to say all talented people, but and so practice beats talent, meaning like someone who may not be as talented at it, but practices with it a lot will catch up to the person who has the talent who's not practicing. So it's just a thought. So we've got some really cool mountscape stuff happening on this corner side. I like this kind of cool, these rocky lines. I'm just adding even more to it. If I want harsher lines here, I don't want the roundedness. Let's use the blow dryer because it's not drying fast enough for me. So all I'm doing is just using the brush to pick up the ink, and it dries it faster. It's just a different effect. So we're just connecting the lines, giving it that direction of flow. And if there's anything I don't like, oh no, I just spilled my alcohol. It's okay, I got more here. Just fill up this cup. Blew it right off the page. I'm adding just a tip of alcohol, a little bit alcohol to the tip of my brush, and just kind of moving it. I don't want to ruin all of the things that I see in here that were naturally created, you know, but I also do want to add a little bit of my own intent to it. I call them the little fractures that I like to add. Here, I'll move my blow dryer so you can kind of see. In some areas I just leave because I like what's happening. Now, for the gold, like, you have to use your brush. You got to be rough with it sometimes to move the gold around, because it will not cooperate, because it's stuck to the paper or the canvas, whichever. Canvas is actually harder with the gold because it goes into the little crevices. Okay, so you got like this really rough edge here, and then you got like really soft, cloudy areas there. So let me get another brush. I need to get a round brush, not as something that's a little bit stronger. So I'm going to use this brush. It's just rounded corners, and I'm also going to get another cup. A little, not a cup, but a little medicine deal. I don't know what these are called, medicine cups. I just get them all from Amazon. I mean, this stuff. The plastic poster board I get from Michael's. So we're going to play with this little droplet. And the reason why I'm using the round, thicker brush is because I want to make sure that it is lifting the pigment enough where it doesn't look so rounded. Like, it doesn't look like a water drop. Hit it, like, you know. Doesn't look like a mistake, is what I like to call it. Oops, that was a mistake. But, okay. I typically have this stuff further out away from my canvas, so this blow dryer is like blowing everything away. Just moving this ink around a little bit more, the pigment of the blue. Now some people may have been like, oh, I like that area, you know. Yeah, I know, everybody likes a different area. I just, you know, I'm just experimenting and practicing with this blue. We have a little bit more we can add if we need to. So let's see here. So I've got a little bit more we can add. There we go. Just to give it a little bit of a... Okay, when you get done with the board under the paper, you can clear coat it, and it'll be art too. Thank you so much. That's like years of alcohol ink that just kind of spewed over the edge. That's funny. Anything can be art, really. I mean, it's all about your intent, right? If I clear coated this board and called it my art over the years, I mean, I guess it could be considered art as well. So whatever the artist really, well, you know, whatever the artist really considers art. Thank you, though. That's very kind. Ooh, I like this, the way that this brush is lifting the blue and helping me kind of move it around. Now, this is the metallic blue that we created with the blending solution and the powder pigment that I had. That's kind of, it's really cool. It adds a little bit of that metallic to it. It is a capsule for me for sure. Okay, so I don't like this spot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push, that's not the right one. I'm going to push this out and try to get rid of that spot, that circle. It may be there, I don't know, we'll see. So we're just kind of, so I'm going to try to move that line. I have been preoccupied with, you know, I mentioned this earlier for the ones that may have joined later. I have been preoccupied with just a new little baby edition that we have. I had a little baby boy on in August, and he's been, you know, he's a baby, so it takes a lot of attention. So. So you're using alcohol to push the ink now, but is there a difference using blending fluid on your piece instead of alcohol? No, I mean, blending fluid should not be used. Okay, 10 minutes, okay. So I've got 10 minutes. My wife just informed me that I've got 10 minutes to finish this painting. So, so I do use blending solution just for, you know, if I'm making my own pigment. Like if I'm using the powder pigment here, that's by Pearl EX. If I'm making my own pigment, then I use blending solution. Typically, I don't use blending solution. I rather use alcohol because, first off, alcohol is cheaper than blending solution. Second, if you want to use something that's similar to alcohol, to blending solution, you could use denatured alcohol, which is typically a fuel, and it's got ethanol and methanol in it, but it's very toxic. You should wear a mask, hands down should wear a mask, a full respirator, I mean, by mask. And it's just, you know, just that. So, and denatured alcohol is a lot cheaper than, you know, blending solution. and it can give you the similar effects. I do have a video about that, just the differences between the alcohol and the denatured alcohol. It's one of the older videos. You can kind of check it out, Mike. And it tells you about that, but blending solution is something I just started using because I wanted to mix it. Now, there are some artists that use blending solutions solely when doing alcohol ink painting because it reduces drying time, I bet, a little bit. But again, to reduce drying time, just don't use a blow dryer with hot. I think you can do a set a blow dryer, a regular blow dryer like the one I have here, this one right here. You can use this, and you can set it to cool and work that way. Actually, you know what? I'm kind of looking at this painting on camera, and it looks really busy because of the background as well. So let me see if I can. Let's see if I can turn this on. There you go. So you can kind of see it, and the brightness. There's a lot of metallic. I don't know if you can kind of see that. But the blue metallic adds so much to it from different angles, and it's not glossy to where it hurts, where you can't see it from every angle. But it's just, so I do have 10 minutes. My wife informed me I probably have 5 minutes now. I'm going to do a little bit more here to this. I don't like this area as much, so I'm going to push some of this out like that as just kind of the final. Now, I might mess it up. I don't know. We'll see. I try not to mess it up, but we'll see. Yeah, of course, Mike. So I'm just kind of quiet because I want you to see. Okay. Oh no, just spilled all this alcohol everywhere. Okay, so while the alcohol is still there and it's barely there and it's drying, I'm just kind of adding some of the things that to help it kind of move. This live aspect of YouTube is pretty cool because since I'm limited on time right now with the new baby and everything, I think it really helps because I don't have to edit, I don't have to do anything. And you get this kind of real-time painting effect. So we're going to use this brush. Just kind of pushing some of the roundness, some of these spots out. Just loading up the brush and moving it around. give you some of the intentional. I need another brush, honestly, for this part. It's almost better sometimes to dry brush it or try to connect. Now I could probably go in there more and add a little bit more of these fractal lines that I like so much. But since I'm limited on time, I hope you enjoyed this demo. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Ascari Art. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let me put something behind it so you can kind of see. I'll put this behind it so you can kind of see it as what it looks like on white. So 1 second, because it is this wooden board that's in the back is pretty distracting. So let's. I'm gonna move it over so that you can kind of see. There you go. So this is kind of what it is. Are you on focus? Yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see it as a whole. There we go. And I think that is it, everyone. So again, thank you. If you have any questions, let me know. This was a lot of fun. I may do this again next week. Probably same time, if life lets me. Not the wife, but life. So I am working on faces. So I am doing a lot of these like interesting faces with alcohol ink. Here, I'll show you one right now. This is the one that I had that I've been working on. This is one that I'm going to incorporate with alcohol ink. And I've got another one. And I tend to I'm not able to film them as much because sometimes I'm inspired and I just start drawing. And this is alcohol ink and crayon d'Ache is what it's called. And then I've varnished it a couple times with Kamar varnish. And so that's why I'm having that effect. So I'm playing with those. So there's going to be alcohol ink. I'm going to do those videos as well. I'm experimenting the process. I don't know the whole process completely. So I don't know what to teach you because I haven't gotten the process down myself. So, but once I do, I will show you everyone how I do it. The drawing the faces, I mean, that's pretty much just like practice. You just draw faces. But the process of sealing it and hoping that it doesn't move when you're adding the alcohol ink later, the alcohol ink effect like this to it, that's the challenging part. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Here, I'll flip it around so you can kind of see the differences. A lot of color. I'm not used to this much color on one sheet because I work a lot larger. I do like a lot of negative space. And as you can see, like if this was on painting, like if this was a painting and I wanted to frame it, I would probably mat it so that there's this nice white area around it that gives you the eye a break because it's just so much saturation of color. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for responding and commenting. I really enjoyed you. I mean, without this, without you guys watching, there's not going to be a conversation and there wouldn't be a YouTube channel, my channel. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for buying the sketchbook and supporting me through the Amazon links and affiliates. And that really, just your comments, your beautiful comments on all my videos, that really means a lot to me. And that motivates me to keep going and to keep making these videos for y'all. So thanks again. Be sure to subscribe. Until next time, hopefully next week.